Well, morning has come and it's sunny outside, so I'm going to go ahead and set up the drone just in case. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Friday. Another glorious Friday is here, which means the weekend is just around the corner. I know you're looking forward to it because I'm looking forward to it, and we both know weekends are fun. Typically, we always do something nice and exciting on the weekends. I say that because I'm not real sure what's planned. I do know it's not supposed to rain all weekend, which I'm excited about. That means I get to fly Skycat 1.5. Right now, it's actually really pretty looking outside. Blue skies, a couple of little white dots of clouds, so I might have to get it up in the air this afternoon. I really want to fly it. I have not been able to fly it in a couple of weeks, and so now that I have it back, I am ready to take to the friendly skies. I am wearing my Mickey ears today. You can see them. These are one of the many pairs of Mickey ears. If I scooch to one side, you can see there is a Sorcerer Mickey hat. On that stand, there's a Mickey hat right up above me. This is a standard Mickey hat. And I have several other ones just kind of around. My Tower of Terror hat's up there as well. So yeah, I just thought I'd wear it. It was on my desk, and I thought, well, I'll put this on just for giggles. I think this actually glows in the dark. I don't remember. I do have the light the night, I think that's what they're called, ears. They're over here as well. They're the ones that light up and change colors with the show, which I've only worn them once in the park, and it was just for a short period of time. I take that back. I wore them twice in the park. To wear around, and they're kind of cool. They light up and flash different colors to the show that's going on, whether it be fireworks or Phantasmic. So it's really cool. I like those a lot. Yeah, but I thought this would give me a good happy Friday feeling by wearing this, other than my normal baseball cap, which will probably end up on my head before the day is over. As for me, not a lot planned. Work is still on the books. Again, I apologize so much for the shortness of the videos the past couple of days with the whole water fiasco, and it just threw me out of sync, and literally I was behind on everything. So a lot of catching up to do. That's pretty common for me. Catch up. I do that a lot because I always manage to be the procrastinator. I procrastinate a lot of the time. Usually I start filming these videos towards the end of the day too, just because I procrastinate a lot throughout the day, trying to get other things done that needs to be done. With the hope of being able to go ahead and do reservations for the Disney trip this weekend. May put it off, I don't know, I haven't decided yet, but I am still in the process of planning. I still have a couple of resorts and different ideas and plans I want to do. Last year I did, what did I say? Last year I stayed at the French Quarter, and I enjoyed a couple of days at Disney in the fall. Great time. I actually did a tour, and I will talk about that here in just a minute, because I figure a lot of people are probably interested in the tours that Disney offers around the park. So I'll kind of give you some insight about that and what all was involved. I will tell you, I'll put a disclaimer before, there is spoiler alerts ahead. So be prepared. If you do not want any of the magic ruined, definitely pause this video or fast forward. I'll put a stop and a start time so that you know where to jump back in, because there will be some magic ruined for some people, and I definitely don't want to do that if you don't want to know about it. So I will warn you in advance. So that alarm lets me know it's time to get some work done. My break time is over, so I'm going to go ahead and jump in and get this day started. Come along with me. Alright, just as a quick reminder that there will be spoilers and things that can potentially ruin the magic for you. So if you do not want the magic ruined and hear the experience that I had, please make sure you fast forward to the end of the video or this clip so that it's not ruined for you. Disney World offers several different unique opportunities for guests to take private tours of the Magic Kingdom, Epcot, Animal Kingdom, and I believe even Hollywood Studios. It is an amazing experience, and it's definitely something for a true Disney fan that would really enjoy. I got the opportunity to do the Keys to the Kingdom tour last year, and that was an absolute blast. I will warn you, if you are looking into doing this tour, it does take quite a bit of time to do. You do need a park admission on top of the tour admission. So you have to keep that in mind as well, that you need the park ticket as well as the tour ticket to actually take the tour. So that is a little bit more expensive, because I do believe the tour itself, I did get a discount due to being a Disney Visa holder. It did save me like 15%, so I think it was like $70 a ticket on top of the general admission. So keep that in mind when you're going to do a tour. This particular tour lasts around 4 hours. I believe my tour was about 4.5 hours long. You do have to get there super duper early, and you cannot be late. If you were late, they will not let you take the tour, and you miss your opportunity and all the money you paid out for it. So keep that in mind when you go to plan this tour. There is also an age restriction on this tour. I do believe you have to be 16 or older to actually attend the tour. Maybe 13 or older, but I'm pretty sure it's 16. You will do a lot of walking, so be prepared for that as well. And you are going to see a lot of things that will ruin the magic of things if you're not careful. I have to say, I believe in the magic, I'm a part of it, but it also does kind of take away from it and expose some of the underbelly of how things work and how things are done. So keep that in mind as well, because if you do not want the magic ruined, definitely stay away from the tour. The tour starts super early, or at least in my case it did. I believe the latest tour starts at 9 o'clock. I was required to be at the Magic Kingdom by 8 o'clock, no later. General public was not even allowed into the park yet. I had to go through a separate queue and actually go through the gates through a different line, which would have been for the people that had the tour, or were going to one of the breakfast events in one of the restaurants in the park. You check in at Town Hall, which is the Mickey Theater that you see when you first go in on the right-hand side of the park. When you first go in, that's where it's at, on the right-hand side. So we met up with the tour guide, and I had a young lady that gave us the tour. It starts that you do wear earpieces. I will let you know that you do wear earpieces. And they also provide you lunch on this tour because it is a lengthy tour, so you typically eat like a special catered lunch. When I say special catered, I mean it's hot dogs and chips, but it's all a part of the tour. So you start your tour off on Main Street, which is really kind of neat. They walk you through, and you can hear them really well through your earpiece. And they'll walk you through Main Street and explain to you all the significance of the windows on Main Street, talk a little bit about how Main Street is created, and how and why it all makes a big story. I won't go into too many details, because if you decide to take the tour, you're going to learn a lot. If you're interested in more and you want to know more about what you exactly learn about and see about, definitely comment down below, and I will maybe make a separate video that's not a part of a vlog so that you can kind of get the idea of it. But they do explain to you the details of Main Street, how it all tells a story, how it all comes together. Your first ride experience is in Adventureland, so you actually take 2 rides while you're on the tour. The first one is the Jungle Cruise. The tour group does get its own specific boat, so that's kind of neat. So you walk around, the tour guide talks about Adventureland and the transition between the different areas and how it all works out. You then take a ride on the Jungle Cruise with the guide, who then becomes your skipper, and they will explain to you all the inner workings of the attraction and how it all works, which is really kind of neat, because it was kind of cool. Even though as a Disney fan I already knew most of the information, it was still really cool to learn about a lot of the stuff and kind of get some of the insider things that I may have not known. For example, if you're a fan of the Jungle Cruise, the plane that's in the Jungle Cruise that just crashed is actually the other half of the plane that was in the Great Movie Ride in the Casablanca scene. So after the Jungle Cruise is when you get your first behind the scenes tour. This is when you actually take your first trip out of the public view and into the secret zone. Each tour is a little different. We did stop for a short time and we did some history of the Pirates of the Caribbean and things of that nature. But we did take our first little tour backstage right here in this section. This is where we went behind the scenes. We went through a cast member gate and crossed the railroad tracks and did come out in the backside where they store all of the parade floats and all of the parades start from. So if you've ever seen the parades from the gate over by Splash Mountain, that's exactly where we went in. And I will tell you, backstage is exactly what you think it is. It's backstage. There's no frills, there's no fluff, no magic. It is literally just backstage. And it was kind of crazy because there was a simple yellow line on the ground. And I will tell you this, and it's because it's cool. There's a yellow line on the ground as you cross, and the tour guide typically will explain to you that that yellow line is the crowd line or the visual vision line. So if you're on the right side of the line, the public can see you. You're on stage. If you're on the left side of the line, you're off stage. And it was truly kind of magical when you stepped across that yellow line to backstage. The crowd vanished, the music stopped, and it was like you were in a different place. Really interesting that that happened. Then you get to tour the backstage area around where the floats are. We did actually go into a couple of the storage facilities for the floats, which was really neat. And you get to see a lot of the Festival of Fantasy parade floats. Some of the not so scary floats were also out as well. And they had actually already had the Christmas floats out. And were doing rehearsals for the Christmas parade. You got to see a lot of that. Now I did because of the time of year. You may experience something a slight bit different. But I did actually get to see the parade float and the toy soldiers actually rehearsing their parade, which was really kind of neat for me. You then experience a little bit of backstage behind Splash Mountain, and we talk about that a little bit, and then you return back to stage. And you go back around, then you typically, and this is typical, we went to the Haunted Mansion. We actually rode the Haunted Mansion with the tour guide in our ear, explaining different things and different nuances of the ride, which was cool. And that being one of my favorite rides, it was really interesting to learn about more details of it that I didn't know than I already did. Being that each tour is a slight bit different, this is where our tour deviated and we walked back to Tomorrowland and had lunch. And we had lunch on the Veranda Terrace, I believe it's called. The restaurant was closed. It was just us up there eating in a reserved area. This is where you also get a souvenir. You receive a specific souvenir when you attend this tour. I will insert a picture of it here if I've got it. But it is a pin that is a little key, and it says Keys to the Kingdom at Disney World. So really cool. I'm a pin collector, as you guys know, so it was really exciting for me to get that pin. Even though it's not like a standard Disney pin, it's actually more like a lapel pin. But I really, really dig that. After our lunch stop, we returned back over to the other side of the park, where we walked around Fantasyland and talked about additional things. But this is where the tour gets a little more underground, literally. So if you've ever heard of this tour, if you've not, you actually do get to tour the utilidors. And if you don't know what the utilidors are, I'll give you a quick explanation, but otherwise you can look them up. The Magic Kingdom is actually built on the second floor. So the first floor is the utilidors. It's basically a series of tunnels for supplies, cast, crew, and things of that nature to transport things from point A to point B without having to be up on the park and walking through Main Street or anything else. And it's underneath. Of course, the Magic Kingdom sits on top. So next time you go to Disney, you'll know this, because when you walk up to the Magic Kingdom, if you remember correctly, when you get off the boat or when you get off the bus and you start up to the train station, you're literally starting up to the train station. And that's because underneath you is a series of tunnels and offices. I do believe there's a cafeteria under the train station, if I remember correctly. It's just kind of how it works. So you can actually look up more of that on YouTube. There's videos of people that have been down there. Now we'll continue on through and we'll talk about that in a moment. So at this point, this is where we go underground, and we actually go through, our tour went underground. I believe it was across from Pinocchio, the Pinocchio restaurant, the house in Small World. And we went through just a little door. It looked like an old wooden door that was themed. You walk through and immediately you're in like a warehouse situation. And again, this is where spoilers are going to come in. So you then you walk down like, I think it was 2 or 3 flights of stairs, and you end up in this huge concrete bunker tunnel. And it is a web of tunnels. They run all over the place. We walked past costuming, we walked past a lot of different things. The coolest part, I think, well, one of the coolest part, because some of it I'm not going to tell you about. One of the coolest part is you actually walk down deeper at one point and back up. And that's when the tour guide let us know that we were actually standing underneath Cinderella's castle. At one point you actually do dip down and you are underneath it. And the reason why it dips down is because Cinderella Castle has a moat. So you have to go under the moat to get back out on the other side. It's really neat. It's really crazy. I did one of the things, I did see a lot of characters and things like that. Again, I'm not going to go into detail on that because I don't want to ruin it too far. If you want to know more about it, just comment down below or shoot me a message on one of my social media links that is up in my profile here. And I'll be more than happy to kind of tell you a little more details. So if you want to know you really want us to do it or not, because it does kind of ruin some of the magic, as I've said before. But you then venture off through the utilidors. It was neat. You get to see the transportation. You get to see a whole section of pins, which was crazy. They literally have every pin that's ever been put out as far as the Hidden Mickey sets, which is really cool. You see a lot of history and a lot of historical items that are down there as well. And a lot of people think when I'm talking tunnels, if you don't know this, you're thinking tunnel, small. No. We're talking big enough for golf carts and small trucks to go through. That's how big they are. At one point we had to push up against the wall because they were bringing cargo through. Also, if you purchase items throughout the park and you have them put up at the will call or you have them delivered back to your resort, once you do that, they put them on an elevator, they go down to the basement, to the utilidors, and they trek them to the next location for you. So it's really neat. You see a lot of things backstage, and then when you're done underground, you come out in the bypass. If you've never been to the bypass, I'm sure if you go to one of the big events such as Not So Scary or any of the other nighttime events, a lot of times they will open the bypass so that you can get around from Main Street without getting in the crowds. But we came out on the bypass, we talked about it, and walked back around. Again, there's a lot of things I'm leaving off that I did not include into this video because, again, I want to give you some of the magic that's there, but I don't want to destroy everything. So if you really want to know more about it, please feel free to reach out to me, comment down below, maybe send me a message, like I said, on social media of some sort so I can tell you a little more about it to see if it's something that you're interested in doing. I will tell you, you will walk a lot. There is no photo, video, or audio of any kind when you're backstage or off stage. When you're on stage, they don't care. You can take as much photo and video as you want to because that is the guest area. But when you're backstage, it is strictly enforced. No photo or video. You can only take them up here in your mind. And that's also to respect the fact that we want to keep the magic within that tour. Because you do see a lot of things that will definitely ruin it. You know, and like I said, I will delve into it more if you really want to know more about it. Just let me know. But overall, I have to say it was well worth the money. It was a great 4.5 hours spent. I learned a lot of information I didn't know, even though I am quite the Disney aficionado already. And I learned a lot that I didn't know already. So it was kind of a cool experience, and I definitely recommend it for anyone that really wants to learn the ins and outs. On a plus note, going in the utilidors was absolutely awesome. That was a neat experience. You get to see a lot of things that you would not normally see, and a lot of people don't even know that you're standing on top of all of that. So it was really cool, and I really enjoyed it. So definitely look into it. They still do the tour. Like I said, it's really early in the morning, and there's a lot of walking involved and stair climbing. But overall, very much worth it. And I would recommend that to anyone that wants to learn more about what it takes to make the magic happen. Now, the spoilers are over. Back to our regular vlog. Alright guys, well, I'm going to call this one a done day and in the bag. I am going to insert some drone video here probably because it is a beautiful day outside, so why not get out and enjoy it? So I may do that. I set up the drone this morning. Everything seems to be set up and working fine after doing some updates, so I cannot wait to pop the propellers on and take to the friendly skies. So if there's drone footage, I'll insert it at the end of this closing, but if not, I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. I look forward to tomorrow because tomorrow I hopefully will have a pretty day outside, if not on Sunday. And I plan on taking the drone out and getting some awesome footage that I've not gotten before because, as you know, I only had it for a week before it quit working the first time. So hopefully this time I'll have a little better luck and I'll be able to enjoy it. Tonight for me it looks like I'm going out to dinner with some friends. I'm going to have some food, probably come home, watch the remainder bits of Sabrina because I've only got 10 episodes left in the season and the series, and then probably go to bed. I know I'm an exciting person. But yeah, if there's any drone footage, I'll put it in after I'm done speaking now, before the closing song. But I hope you guys have a wonderful kickoff to the weekend. Be safe, be fun. Let me know what you're doing and see if it's anything like me. Comment down below. Also make sure you like, subscribe, and all that good fun stuff because I really like to make new friends on here. And everyone is welcome in my house. So I will go ahead and wrap it up for today. But I will see you guys on the other side. Till tomorrow.